All right, today we're going to talk about commission, which is another application of percent. Does anyone know what commission is?
Money.
Yeah, you guys know what that means. So there's different ways that you can earn money, right, at a job. There's kind of two basic ways, which are you could be a salary employee or you can be an hourly employee. Those are sort of the two basic divisions. Salary means that you get a set amount of money for whatever contract, usually a year. Okay? So, you might sign up, teachers are usually on salary. You might sign up to be a teacher and they say, we'll pay you this much a year. Teachers earn about like $5 million a year.
Really?
Typically. No, I'm just, right, but whatever it is, right? So you earn that salary for your work for that year. Hourly means you have a contract that says something like, we will pay you $12 for every hour that you work. And every 2 weeks, you submit what's called a timesheet. Or at a lot of places, this is now automated. You don't have to do a timesheet. The computers do it for you. And that timesheet will determine how much you get paid for those 2 weeks. Yeah, so if you've ever seen like those punch cards, those are typically used at like an hourly. Like I used to work at LL Beans in Maine, and you would every day when you got there, you would bring in your card, you punch in to this little machine, and when you left, you'd punch out, and that just kept track of what hours you were there for.
What if you didn't punch out? Like, can you just,
If you forgot, you had to go through some whole process of like yeah, correcting it. You typically, like with an hourly job, you're typically assigned a shift. Like you're gonna work from 9 to 5 today, right? Or you're gonna work, like at Beans, I would often work from like 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. And if you worked like more than that shift, you'd have to have a really good reason. So that would show up, and if it was like, if your timesheet was different than the actual shift they gave you, they would ask questions, right? So you wouldn't want to be like, trying to not punch out or something like that, because it would just cause you a headache, right? They're not going to like pay you for a bunch of extra hours. And I mean, a typical hourly job, you're going to work something like 40 hours in 1 week. But there's variations on this, and one of the variations is something called commission. So also while I was in college, I worked at a shoe store, and at the shoe store I got an hourly wage, but I also earned commission. So commission is for every amount that you sell, you earn a certain percent for yourself. And there's a ton of sales jobs, both hourly and salary based, where you earn commission. And usually, well not usually, in a lot of cases, the commission is actually the bulk of what you make. So for example, if you're a real estate agent, you earn something like a 3 to 6% commission for a house that you sell. Well, if you sell $1 million house, 3% of that is a lot of money, right? Or 6% of that could be a lot of money. So some people really depend more on their commission than like their salary or their hourly wage. And so those are kind of a lot of times sales positions. So what does commission mean? So we can add commission to either an hourly job or a salary job. Commission is a percent of sales that goes to the seller, or the salesperson. I guess the salesperson is probably a better word. Okay, so like a real estate agent gets a percent of the cost of that house. Right? A shoe salesman gets a percent of each shoe that they sell, that they make for themselves. yourself. Onto your money that you make. I'm not sure if there are any jobs where you work only on commission. It's possible, right? Where all you get paid is the commission on what you sell. Did you what? So a place like McDonald's probably, like restaurants typically don't use commission.
They probably do
Um,
hourly, right?
Yeah, McDonald's probably uses hourly because you don't really get tips there. But a lot of restaurants, you get an hourly wage plus your tips. And so the hourly wage is really low. That's what I said, there's variations, right, on the hourly and salary. At a restaurant, most of what you make is your tips. And there's other professions that are based on tips as well.
Aren't
Okay.
tips kind of like commission?
Tips are a little bit like commission. Exactly. Yeah, except with a tip, it's kind of up to the person who buys it, right? Like if you go to a restaurant, you tip the waiter. With commission, someone comes in and buys a $100 pair of shoes. That goes to the company, and then the company gives that shoe salesperson, $5 or whatever for selling that pair of shoes.
But you wouldn't get commission like if you sold like something on eBay, right? You would, there's no company.
So there are people who sell things on eBay that charge commission to the people that they're selling for. Like if you sold your own thing on eBay, the commission isn't added to the price. So let's look at an example problem, right? Like let's say a shoe salesman earns 5% commission on sales. If he sells $350 of shoes in 1 week, what will he earn in commission? Okay, so 5% commission, he sells $350. Now, the difference between this and like tips is the $350 is all the customer pays, right? So if you go into a shoe store, you're not paying extra for commission, right? You're paying whatever you pay, but the company takes some of what they get and they give it to the salespeople as an incentive for them to sell more things. So the company gets $350 and they're going to then reallocate that. Let's say, a typical thing with sales is about half of that money is what the thing actually cost to the company. So the company was able to buy those shoes for, $175. They're going to take the profit that they have left over and they're going to give a little bit of it to the salesperson to say like, hey, nice job, you sold this, this is what you earned for selling it. So we're just going to take 5% of 350, which is 5% as a decimal, times 350. And that's it. That's all we have to do, right? 5% of 350. 5% of 350 is 17.5. So we would say 17.50.
Oh, so it would be better to have a job at like a place that sells really expensive stuff, right?
Well, you probably have a lower
Yeah,
percent.
depending.
Like Asian.
Well, yeah, it depends like what your percent commission is. It depends how much you sell, right? Because if things cost a lot, then you might sell less of them.
Well,
All
Like,
those
how
sorts of
does
things.
it work, like, for example, like at Albertsons, there's no like salesperson.
So at Albertsons, there's no one that works on commission, probably. Yeah. Typically, people who earn commission are called something like sales associate or salesperson or something like that.
Wait, so at a shoe store, is that a realistic example?
It depends on the store.
And the shoe.
and the type of shoe. Yeah, I know like advertising sales, a lot of them use commission. Real estate, like I said. Software salespeople,
Oh, the people that knock on your door and say.
probably, yeah, maybe, door-to-door salespeople probably earn some amount of commission. Just another way of getting paid, right? Another type of job. All right, let's do another example. One more example. A software sales lady earns 10% commission if she sells $500,600 worth of software in 1 year. How much commission will she earn? So again, pretty straightforward. They're just asking us to take 10% of 500,600. What is 10% of 500,600? Just move the decimal place over 1, right? An easy percent. So it's $50,000. $50,060. 0.1 times 500. I could have written that a little better. Just multiply those together. Ah,
I want to do soft.
you earn $50,000. Yeah, there's a lot of jobs where you can earn quite a bit of money on commission. Depending what you're selling. And there's there are certain jobs where the commission might be more, or might be all that you earn. It might be more than like your actual wages. All right, you guys get this?
A YouTuber.
Pretty straightforward, right?